Hello, welcome back. This is Dr. Edward Padama, and we have been discussing topics on how to write different parts of your research paper. So this time, we are going to discuss review of related literature and studies, or otherwise known as literature review. Okay, I would like to point out at this juncture of the discussion that what we are using on this part of the research is entitled Review of Related Literature and Studies. So with this, I would like to establish the difference between literature and studies. So literature includes textbooks, newspapers, magazines, journals, manuals that is relevant to the research being written, while studies include previous researches done relevant to the research being conducted by the writer. To facilitate the discussion on how to write the review of related literature and studies, we can summarize the discussion into 4 parts and into 4 letters. These are SSAP. Again, SSAP, which represents survey, synthesis, analysis, and presentation. Again, the objectives of writing the review of related literature and studies can be summarized into 4 parts, which are survey, synthesis, analysis, and presentation. Now that we have established the objectives of writing the review of related literature and studies, we are now going to go to the first stage, which is survey. So before any writing can be done, we need to, as writers, read, and read. This is how we survey. This is how we establish the relevance of the materials that we are going to use, if they are genuinely related and relevant to the research that we are creating or writing. So whether it is literature or studies or researches or journals, manuals, newspapers, magazines, in order to establish this connection or the connection of the content that we are reading to our research, we really need to religiously read the contents and the ideas behind the literature that we are going to use. The second stage of writing the review of related literature and studies is synthesis. So this is the combination of 2 ideas. In this case, the idea of contained in the research that you are doing, the objective of your research, what you want to establish in your research, and the other part would be the idea behind the reference that you are using. Establishing the connection and the relevance of these 2 ideas would solidify the foundation of your research in the area or in the aspect of the argument that there is really a need to conduct the research. Before we proceed, in review, we have already discussed 2 areas on how to write the review of related literature and studies. So number 1 is to survey, to read, and read. And the other one is to synthesize, to combine these 2 ideas, referring to the idea contained within your research and the idea contained within the reference. So if you're going to observe in the first stage, which is survey, you go through the materials that you find relevant to the research that you are doing. While on the second stage, which is synthesis, this is the time that you are going to start writing, not only quoting the references that you used, but also discussing what idea, what thesis that you have arrived at while reading the reference material. So usually what we do when writing the review of related literature and studies is to cite the reference. So this would include the name of the author, the year, if it is included in the format that you are using, and then the idea contained in this reference. And then after the citation, that's the time that you are going to write the inference that you have arrived in reading this particular idea from the reference that you got. So this is called the synthesis. So this is where you arrived at a new idea or establishing the relevance of the reference to the research that you are doing. So again, if I would like you to observe while writing the pattern of citation and synthesis in your research paper. Again, I would like to thank you for continuously following the discussions on how to write your research as a whole, and I hope that I will see you again on the second part of this video on how to write the review of related literature and studies. See you on the next video, and please don't forget to click and subscribe. Bye. Thank you.